Hi,
Hi.
welcome back. All gacha games consist of two types of characters which can generally be separated into two groups of 4-star units and 5-star units. In most Toyoverse games, you're going to have more 5-star units than 4 stars, because usually we get 2 5 stars per patch, while we only get 1 4-star. Some patches don't even have any 4 stars and only 5 stars like the 3.0 patch. There's definitely a bunch of missed opportunities to introduce a bunch of 4-star units that they unfortunately missed. There are only about 5 or 6, maybe 7 4-star units that players regularly use, besides niche teams like Shui, which are dead in the water in the current endgame modes beside Apocalyptic Shadow. So there are definitely a few problems with 4-star units in Honkai Star Rail, so let's talk about those. Before we start, you should like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Express Rain Discord server where you can find more discussions just like this one. Now let's get on to it. So first things first, let's take a good look at the current 4-star roster. The only units that I can say are still very prevalent and useful in today's meta are Herda, Pella, Tingyun, Moza, Gwynaifen, Hunt March 7th, and Gallagher. All of these units are either best in slots for certain teams or simply have 2P options when comparing them to their 5-star counterparts. I don't see any of them falling out of the meta entirely anytime soon. Herda won't get pyrocrit by the Herda, they'll just be used together. Tingyun is very good for summon units, Gwynaifen is the second best debuffer, behind Pella, Gallagher is the best 4-star healer and is definitely better than Bailu, and Moza and March 7th are kinda broken. The problem lies in there being only 7 4-star units that are regularly used, and the rest either being just pretty bad or played in certain niches that really don't have a place in today's meta. When you're basically only using 5-star units, it makes the game feel a lot more pay to win, especially when even full 5-star teams could sometimes have a hard time clearing. It disincentivizes players from ever looking at 4-star units, just keeps them interested in the 5 stars, and while that definitely increases sales overall, it's not really healthy for the game because F2P players are a huge part of the player base, and always pulling the new 5-star unit isn't feasible. We do need 4 stars that are usable, and having only 7 isn't really enough. Now I don't see a way to fix the older 4-star units, so let's just focus on how to improve new ones in the future. From these 7 units, we can deduct 2 ways to create a 4-star unit. Either make them a best in slot for certain teams like Pella is for Acheron, or give them a certain niche like a small Herda, big Herda team against stages with lots of Ice Weak enemies. There are merits and cons to both, so let's talk about those. When making them just an F2P counterpart for a 5-star unit, then it would make some kits feel less unique if they don't do something entirely different. The means should be different to reach the same end in the case of these units, kinda like Moza and Topaz. While they both do basically the same thing, they use different means to reach their goals. Moza going off-field is one of the coolest things in the game, and Topaz has a pick that does all her follow-ups for her. March 7th also basically does the same thing that these two do, which is buff up Facial, but she does it in an entirely different way as well. Instead of just making two characters that do the exact same thing but one worse than the other, they should make kits feel unique to each other. However, doing this would also dilute the roster with many 4-star units. I don't think having more 5 stars than 4 stars is really a big issue, especially because 5 stars are what drive the marketing forward and what make the game actually grow and seem fun. Barely anybody cares about the 4-star units, let's be real. It's only when they're 5 stars do players care about them, so just making more characters into 4 stars instead of 5 stars will really fix the issue. They should keep the same ratio of 4 stars to 5 stars, I believe. It's just that the 4-star units that come out should be consequential and important. Instead of making 4-star units just worse version of 5 stars, they should instead give them their own unique kits in my opinion. Make them into a cool niche that will be able to clear the endgame content with enough investment. Mono Quantum with Qingque is probably one of the most fun teams in the game. You just never know because if you tried using it and you weren't Mr. Pokey, you'd probably fail. So in the future, they should make more opportunities for 4-star units to play into niches that would be powerful in certain scenarios. We already have a few in the game already, like when there are a bunch of Quantum weak enemies, Qingque is really good against them, and when there are a bunch of Lightning weak enemies, Serval is also pretty damn good. They should never be better than 5-star counterparts though, because that destroys the whole purpose of 5-star units, but they should be fun to use and different enough to 5-star team comps. When you make a unit into a 4-star, you're really limiting the number of people that would actually take interest in this unit unless it's exceptionally powerful. By making it into a niche, a lot of people would be interested in this niche, thus create small groups of players that are really dedicated to certain characters and do their best to find the builds and scenarios where these characters can be used. Again, I don't think they should be able to clear as fast as 5-star units because it destroys the whole purpose of a 5-star and 4-star unit. Might be a hot take, but I don't think 4-stars should regularly be able to 0 cycle or even clear in 1 or 2 cycles. They should always be able to clear in 5 though, and currently, there are basically no 4-star units that can clear the MOC in less than 5 cycles. It's only possible nowadays in the Apocalyptic Shadow and Pure Fiction because these modes have basically 0 HP inflation. It's just that the MOC is really when it comes to this topic. And that's basically everything I have for you today, just a smaller video talking about a pretty small problem. I personally don't see it as a very huge deal, but some people definitely do. Let me know what you think below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Expressware and Discord server where you can find more discussions just like this one. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.